McKay show no one will watch now.
Gotcha.
Sorry. So Illinois State, you're a theater major. I appreciate that. You and I don't know each other very well, but I enjoy reading all the things that you have on the internet, and it's kind of nice to be like, ooh, me too. All the things that you've said I did as well. So like theater majors, wild intensities, like the cast parties all the time. What kind of a theater department was it? What kind of stuff did you guys do?
It was real. It was born out of the Chicago theater tradition of real, like, nitty gritty, David Mamet type stuff.
Ooh.
So real, like, method acting focused. I mean, we studied, like, Stanislavski and stuff, but I'd say the primary vibe and aesthetic there was this kind of gritty realism, which... It was, at the time, not a great place if you had comedic leanings.
Yeah, okay.
Well, actually, okay, take that back. It was a wonderful place in some ways because we had this thing called Theater of Ted, which happened every midnight on Saturday, and you could create your own, sketches or bits and do it. You could do whatever you wanted. Anyone could do whatever they wanted. And I just never took advantage of it because I always just wanted to party on Saturday nights.
Right.
There were some people there who took it super seriously. That was like the outlet for people who had comedic leanings. And one of them, the guy who started it, is doing really well in LA. His name's Brendan Hunt. He's done written plays for Fringe Fest that have won awards, and he's written like with Key and Peele, and he's had bit parts on all these comedies. So, and he did that thing in the Amsterdam, Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Boom, Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I say it wasn't a good place for people in comedy, but he came from that program. But institutionally, they didn't know what to do with people who were funny, I didn't think. I didn't really have any guidance whatsoever in that. I think it would have helped me for someone to be like, oh, this is where your talent is. You should try doing improv and stuff when you graduate from school. You're going to Chicago. But I kind of couldn't figure it out on my own, and no one said it to me. So I moved to Chicago in the late 90s and just didn't do improv and didn't do sketch. It was like when Tina Fey and Nick Offerman and stuff were doing stuff, and I was just like, well, that doesn't seem like something for me. I didn't start doing comedy till I was 39.
Yeah.
And started doing stuff here, so...
Yeah, I mean,
it's
hard, but when you start in theater, because like my schooling in theater was very serious as well. Mine was mostly like Shakespeare, and like the rule of thumb at my college was if it's not 100 years old or more, we're not interested in doing it.
Right.
So it was a lot of old stuff.
Yeah.
Which was fine and taught us a lot about, that particular format, and doing a lot of very serious plays.
Yeah.
My like senior play that I directed was about like torture. It was like, I'm not. So later, in college, I did not. It's called Death and the Maiden.
Okay, yeah.
Which, by the way, BT Dubs, not 100 years old. Written in 1992. This was 1996 when it happened. So like, so the fact that they even remotely allowed me to do it, they fought me tooth and nail, because you have to go in and get your final play approved by the department, and they were like, no. And then they'd be like, come back with more ideas. And then I'm such an asshole, I just came back with the one same idea. I'd walk in and I'd go, all right, I've made a new presentation on the exact same play.
But you knew what you wanted.
Yeah. And they made me rewrite it in a way that was more artistic, they thought, because it was very like, a play in a living room, right? And they didn't think that was enough. So they're like, we need you to do a rewrite that like evokes this, and this. And I was like, fine.
Wait, where'd you go?
I went to University of Dallas.
Okay.
I'm from Boston. So I also lived in a place where there were a bunch of cool schools that everyone thought you should go to. And I was like, a peace, motherfuckers. Yeah. I'm going as far away as I possibly can.
Yeah, when I decided not to go to LSU, Steven Soderbergh decided to go to LSU, and he stayed for an entire semester. Like, All my friends were in Schizopolis. He like filmed it on the LSU campus.
All right, so you did a good job of ducking comedy for a long part of your life. What was the actual motivation to get you to finally just be like, fuck, I want to be funny?
Well, I had a friend who did stand-up right out of school, and other friends who did improv, and I'd see them have a burning desire to do it too, but something in my head was like, I can't do that, or that's not for me. It was some deep self-confidence issue, I think. And also a personal energy issue. I was diagnosed with thyroid disease in 2011, and the clarity of knowing that I had it and going about treating it really gave me like a whole new lease on life. And also, you know, you think about your mortality kind of, so your values, you know. And I don't have kids and stuff, and I won't ever. So you need something in your life, you know. And also, just the fact that the new movement was here. Like, before, there was no outlet, really. But then I started hearing things about the new movement, and my boyfriend took me to a Chris and Tammy show for my birthday. We were in Baton Rouge, which is 2 hours away. And it was really good. You know, like, all the outlets in Baton Rouge were... It's like shitty community theater, kind of. And I just would rather, I guess, do nothing than do that. But then when I found out about that, it just lit a fire under my ass, and all the, you know, pieces fell into place. That's and, awesome. Started doing it. But I had felt like I was inside a comedian for years. And then I guess in 2011, I started after the whole thyroid, I started feeling better, and I started tweeting then, and... that gave me a lot. It's kind of embarrassing almost, because you're supposed to just get your affirmation from inside, you know, but I tweet.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a joke. I'm so sorry.
Well, good. This is a safe space to say that Andy Richter retweeted one of my tweets, and it really, that was like, okay, I could do comedy. I'm funny. That's the affirmation. And all I needed was a person who's famous for being funny to tell me that I was funny. Mm-hmm. That's all I needed.
Yep. Absolutely. That ridiculous affirmation from some famous person who happened by your tweet for whatever reason was like, oh yeah, this is what I was looking for in my life.
Yeah.
That's well, thank you, Andy Richter, for unlocking her life. That's great.
Yeah, well, getting you on this journey where you're at now. I personally have a theory that like you become different people throughout your life. Mm-hmm. So this is your comedian part, and now you're a comedian now. So you went through the whole improv curriculum. Yeah, is that correct?
I
did. Then did you take sketch classes as well?
No, well, I started with sketch.
Okay.
I would drive in from Baton Rouge to take sketch classes. The first class I took was on Saturdays, and it was like 3 hours long. So. Mm-hmm. I would drive in for that, and then I took the 3 levels of sketch that were available from Baton Rouge, and I didn't take improv because you have to meet, on a weeknight usually, and it's a year-long thing, so I wanted to wait till we moved here, and once I saw the theater community here and realized that there would be a place for me here, I started thinking about how to move to New Orleans, and then my boyfriend got laid off from his job, and so that freed us up. And my job, I saw an in for some flexibility to work remotely from New Orleans. So then I moved here and I took improv, and I started teaching sketch, and I'm about to start teaching improv next week. So.
Oh, great! That's awesome. What level are you teaching?
I'm teaching 4.
Oh, okay, awesome. I love it. That's such a formative level.
Yeah, I remember it being great. So I'm totally excited.
Oh, that's so great. So you're in the sketch group Virginia's Harem. Were you part of the founding members?
Not really. The founding members were Valerie Buchwald, Erica Gustray, Liz Beeson, and Courtney Wieldy. And they opened for Jeff Whitaker. He did a show in New Orleans, and he was looking for some sketch to open for him. Valerie had talked to Chris True, saying she wanted to get involved in more sketch. So he said, do you want to get something together to open for Jeff Whitaker? So she just pulled those guys in just to open for him. Mm-hmm. They weren't an existing group. Their show went well, and from there they said, hey, let's really do this. And then they pulled in Emily Slazer and I. So not exactly founding, but close.
Yeah, so how long have you guys been working together then?
Since spring of 2015.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it's an all-female group, is that correct?
Yes.
No gentlemen of any kind.
No gents.
And that's on purpose?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. That must be a really interesting energy for sure.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, I love working with men too, but it's the vibe of our group is just very women-driven energy, I suppose.
Well, I love all the ladies in the group. It seems like a great energy for sure.
Yeah.
How do you guys develop the sketches? What's your sort of creative process?
We write on our own and then come together and just read our finished sketches. So it's just driven by everyone's own, creative, individual creative processes, I suppose. So we've had meetings where we'll like pitch stuff, but we started doing a monthly show, which, as you know, is just difficult. So you trim the fat. So we wouldn't have pitch meetings anymore. We just come into the first meeting with like 3 sketches that are already written, read all the sketches, and then pick the show lineup from there.
Right on. Yeah, I even though I could cut the pitch meeting in the show that I do, I really like that part.
Do you?
We meet once a week, and so because we meet once a week, sometimes it gets a little overwhelming, and that meeting is the most relaxed of all of them. It's the most fun,
right? Because
we walk in with nothing, and by the end we have like 50 ideas, and the like creative energy that creates among the group, I think helps buoy any troubles we might have along the way. So even if like the rehearsals are hard or we're having a tough time, because we've had that like bonding moment. And I've even done the meetings not at the theater. One time we went and had brunch and had the meeting there and gone to different places. So it's like, it's helpful to, have the fun. Because sometimes it feels like work.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, no, wait, I got into this for fun, so let's make sure there's fun.
Okay, so you do a pitch meeting, and then is the next week they bring in written sketches, and then do you just have one rehearsal?
No, we have 2 rehearsals. So it's like, so it's the first 2 Saturdays of the month. So right after the first show, we have the pitch meeting for the next one. So as soon as it goes on stage, we're preparing the next show.
Okay.
And then it's like pitch meeting, read through. I pick the sketches from the read through that are going to go into the show and then cast them.
You just pick them by yourself?
I do, yeah.
That seems so fun. We have to negotiate.
No. Well, you guys created in a group scenario.
Yeah, it's like a democracy.
I was like, I'm the producer of this show. I'm the head writer. I will be making decisions. And also I'm the only consistent member throughout all of the 7 years that we've done the show.
Yeah.
So I'm like, listen, guys, I know what's going to be funny. I know the order it's going to be funny in. Sometimes we've ended up switching things around because it's like, this guy's covered in goo after this scene. He can't be this guy right after. So we're like, okay, we'll move the goo scene later, whatever it is. But I choose it. I cast it. I'll let people give me suggestions if they'd like, but it's like, I know this guy's hilarious, but he literally cannot be in every sketch.
Right.
Sometimes I'll get ones where it's like, I'd really like so-and-so. And I'm like, yeah, no, you're not. You're not getting that guy. Or whatever. Like, and then 2 rehearsals. So it's like 2 2-hour rehearsals. So I do about half of them, and then we're ready to go. And I'm describing it as if it's super smooth all the time, and it's not.
And y'all are monthly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 shows monthly.
Yeah. I know it's not smooth. Believe me, you don't have to say that. It can be. It's just too relentless. We don't even do monthly anymore. It was like too much. It was too much for us.
Yeah. Well, they kept trying to tell it. I continuously, every time I see Chris True, he goes, "You ever think about going weekly?" And I'm like, no. Can I do one show every week for the entire year? Yeah, I'll do that. Like,
well,
but
yeah,
no,
but that's
too much.
Yeah. I mean, it's different if you're doing sketch prom or something, but